Hello and welcome to Unacademy IAS, a one-stop destination for all the English medium civil services aspirants. Welcome to another session of Economy this week. And in this video, we are going to cover the economy related articles from 29th January to 4th February 2026. Now, before I start, all our courses right now are available at the discounted price of 19,999. Check out the details by clicking on the link provided in the description below and use the code IS English. You will receive an extension of up to 6 months free of cost. Do not miss out the opportunity. Those interested in enrolling, the link is provided in the description below. Now, one more very important point I want to announce is if you are somebody who is preparing and going to write the civil services examination in May 2026, economic survey is indispensable for you. Regarding this, yesterday evening I've taken one session on the Unacademy platform at 7 p.m. If you're yet to watch that particular video, here is the link. Scan the QR code, watch the video. And second class is scheduled on coming Saturday. You heard it right, day after tomorrow, Saturday at 4 p.m. Do not miss out this particular second session where I'm going to discuss economic survey chapter wise. I've already covered some of the chapter. We will continue the discussion in the second session. And this is the QR code to join the session. Scan the QR code. It will take you to a particular page. Hit on the button, enroll now. And once the session starts, you will be intimated regarding that. Now let me start. The first important article. The government is weighing digital voucher system for PDS to check leakages. Now there are multiple concepts to be discussed here. Let's begin. The first one, what is this idea of e-RUPI voucher system or else digital voucher system? Now unlike earlier system where subsidies were provided, let's say in the form of a cash. Let's say the government is supposed to provide a subsidy of 1000 rupees to me. It can provide this particular subsidy transferred into my bank account. But there is always a concern with this. The concern is, what if the government is wanting me to purchase, let's say, food grains using the 1000 rupee subsidy? I will take the 1000 rupee from my bank account. I will use it to purchase anything but food grains. I will use it to purchase, let's say, right, certain alcoholic products, liquor products, tobacco products. I might use the money for gambling purposes, etc. There is always a possibility. So, what has the government of India done? There is a new system that has been developed by National Payments Corporation of India (NPCI), along with other entities such as Department of Financial Services, National Health Mission or National Health Association, as well as Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, MOHFW. So these entities have come together, mainly led by NPCI. They have developed a new system which is dependent on the UPI platform. And this new system is essentially called as e-RUPI, electronic rupee or e-RUPI. Under e-RUPI, what generally happens is, rather than government transferring the cash subsidy into my account, the government will provide this, let's say 1000 rupee to a bank. Bank will issue a voucher which will be sent to my account. Of course, there's a technology partner here. For example, now the government is considering using the bank SBI and the technology partner NIC, National Informatics Center. So here a voucher is created, and this voucher is not a physical voucher. It is a digital voucher. It could be in the form of QR code or it could be in the form of a simple message. Now this will be sent to the beneficiary. This will be sent to the beneficiary. Now the beneficiary will take the mobile, go to the service provider, provide this particular QR code. The service provider will scan. I'll get an OTP. I'll submit the OTP as assuming I'm the beneficiary. And now the service provider, let's assume the 1000 rupee voucher is for food grains. Now the service provider, that is a shopkeeper, has to provide 1000 rupees worth of food grains to me. This is essentially the concept of the digital voucher. And what is the benefit of this? The government simply says this is a cashless system. This is a cashless system. The government doesn't have to provide money to the beneficiary, but ensure the benefit will be provided to the beneficiary. This is a cashless system. This is a contactless system. That is, I don't have to run the service provider or the beneficiary. They don't have to run behind the government officials. This is a contactless. This is a purpose specific. That is, the voucher can be issued only for specific purposes. And this is a person specific. This is a person specific digital voucher payment system. So government will identify the beneficiary. Who is the right beneficiary? Only that beneficiary can utilize the voucher to get the benefits. And the benefit of this is, as a beneficiary, I don't require a bank account now. I don't require a bank account. Government essentially will transfer the money to SBI. That is a proposal now. Government will transfer the money to SBI. SBI, along with the technology partner, will release the digital voucher or the e-rupees to the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries will go to, right, let's say the fair price shop, show the QR code and receive the benefit. That is essentially the concept of e-Rupee voucher. Again, I'll repeat it. It is cashless, contactless, purpose specific and person specific digital voucher system. Now, this has been introduced in multiple instances. For example, in the last year's budget, the government of India announced certain amount of interest remission, certain amount of interest benefit to educational loans. There the government simply said, we will provide this interest, that is for a student who is taking an education loan, certain part of the interest will be borne by the government, but the payment shall be done by using voucher system. That is e-Rupee voucher system. But now the question arises, why are we utilizing this in the public distribution system? What is the need right now? The government is concerned that despite multiple reforms being implemented, there are multiple reforms under the PDS, but the government is concerned that despite these reforms, still there is a leakage under the PDS. Still there is a diversion of food grains under PDS. Still there are instances of underweighing of the food grains under PDS. Right? And there is also monopoly. Monopoly in the sense, if I am registered as a beneficiary under PDS, now I don't have any option. I'll have to go to the same fair price shop, whether the person is fair or not, whether the person gives me the right amount of food grain, right quality of the food grain according to the regulations or not. There is no option. There is a monopoly here. In order to address all of these particular problems, now the government of India is considering, I repeat, considering introducing the e-Rupee digital voucher system under the public distribution system. Now, these are certain important points. Based on this, here is an MCQ, straightforward, no difficulty whatsoever in solving the MCQ. Which of the following authority has developed e-Rupee? It is developed by the National Payments Corporation of India. Right option is option B here. Let's go forward to the second article. Sovereign gold bond. If you profit from the secondary market SGB deal, government deserves its share. Now, what is the debate? What is the issue all about? The government of India back in the year 2015 for the first time introduced the concept of sovereign gold bond. What was the basic idea of a sovereign gold bond? Households in India, investors in India prefer to invest and purchase huge quantities of gold. And because India imports a huge quantity of gold, this will put a pressure on the imports, the outflow of dollar will increase, etc. Government basically introduced an instrument. This is government bond in simple terms. The government introduced a government bond and stated that this particular bond, you can invest in the bond just like you invest in physical gold. What do you do in physical gold? You purchase, you pay money, purchase and keep it with yourself. If you want to use it, you will use it. Otherwise, you will sell it in the market. Same logic was introduced in the form of sovereign gold bond. And what are the features of the sovereign gold bond? One, this is a bond. Essentially means there is a maturity period for this. And the government basically said the bonds will have a maturity period of 8 years. The bonds will have a maturity period of 8 years. Second, once you purchase this particular sovereign gold bonds, you want to trade them. Of course, there were certain conditions. If you want to trade them in the secondary market, these were made tradable in nature. Just like any government bond, these were made tradable in nature. Point number 3, the government basically said, if you purchase physical gold, you are not going to earn any interest on it. You are worried about the purity. But purchase the sovereign gold bond, I will ensure that you will get rate of interest, annual rate of interest. Generally, the government used to pay 2.5% coupon rate or rate of interest on your initial investment. Please remember, initial investment. What do you mean by initial investment? The sovereign gold bonds were sold. For example, many of the public sector banks, private sector banks, they sold the sovereign gold bond. You could purchase in terms of grams of gold. And whatever is the market price of the gold on that day, I repeat, whatever is the market price of the gold on that day, you would pay that amount and purchase the sovereign gold bond. Instead of going to the market and purchasing 10 grams of gold, physical gold, now you will pay the same market price, but instead you will purchase 10 gram worth of, right, let's say sovereign gold bond. So instead of physical gold, you will purchase instruments which will represent the market price of the gold. And the beauty of the instrument was, as the market prices will fluctuate, gold prices fluctuate. As the market prices will fluctuate, the market price of these sovereign gold bonds would also fluctuate. And the government basically said, upon maturity, that is upon the maturity of 8 years, I will calculate the average price of the gold in the last 3 days and I'll pay you the market price. This would happen upon maturity. I will give you the market price. This was the promise of the government. In addition to this, there was one more feature which was favorable to the investor. There is one more feature. The government, now it has clarified, but earlier the government would simply say, you purchase the sovereign gold bond and if you hold on to it and you meet certain condition, whatever are the capital gains, whatever are the capital gains, I will waive them off. It is exempted. You do not have to pay the capital gains tax. Right? That is upon maturity, you don't have to pay capital gains tax. But now, in the recently announced budget, the government of India has made a change or has given a clarification regarding how the tax treatment will be given to the sovereign gold bonds. And that has actually hurt market sentiment. It has irked a lot of investors. A lot of investors have shown their displeasure regarding this particular policy. What is the policy? Now the government of India simply says, if you purchase the sovereign gold bond in the primary market, I repeat, if you purchase the sovereign gold bond from the primary market, hold on to the sovereign gold bond till maturity, and upon maturity you receive certain market price. That is, upon maturity you will get the price from the Reserve Bank of India. If you have made capital gains in this and only this way, I repeat, you purchase the sovereign gold bond from the primary market, that is directly when it is sold for the first time, not from anybody else in the market, directly from RBI when they will sell the, right, let's say the sovereign gold bond in the primary market. You purchased it. You kept it with yourself. Now there is a maturity period. 8 years are over. The government will pay the money to you. That is the market price of the gold right now. Whatever capital gains you enjoy now, only in this case, there will be an exemption provided. Is it okay? There will be an exemption provided. But what are the other ways that you will make capital gains in case of sovereign gold bond? I said these particular sovereign gold bonds are tradable in nature. Correct? These are tradable in nature. And when these are tradable in nature, obviously you will buy them, you will sell them in the market. Now, when you buy from somebody and you sell it to somebody else, imagine you make certain capital gains. Government says imagine you buy it from somebody else in the market, you store it till the maturity period, not directly from RBI. In the secondary market, imagine I have purchased the sovereign gold bond. I will sell it to you. You will wait till maturity period. You will get certain capital gains. Will that be exempted from the capital gains tax? Government says no. Government says no. Why? You have not purchased the bond from the primary market, rather you have purchased it from the secondary market. Hence, that benefit will not be given to you. What if I trade in the secondary market? No benefit. What if I purchase, keep it till the 5 years and sell them in the market? No capital gains tax benefit. So, out of all the instances where there can be a capital gains in the context of the sovereign gold bond, the government clearly now states you will get the exemption only in one instance. And what is that instance? You should have purchased the bond in the primary market. You should have held on to the bond till maturity period. Now and only now, I will give you the exemption under capital gains tax. But what is the complaint of the investors? The investors are basically saying this kind of clarification was not given earlier. If this kind of clarification was given, I would have considered investing somewhere else. Initially, they said upon maturity, the language, look at it, upon maturity, no capital gains tax. Now they are saying that is applicable only if you are holding the bond when you purchase from the primary, not from the secondary market. And that will basically mean that now these investors who have purchased from the secondary market will have to shell out capital gains tax. Now it all depends whether it is a short term, long term. There are rates. It will be generally considered in short term. The capital gains will be taxed as per slab rate. In long term, here it will be taxed at 12.5%. So this is one more very important discussion that is happening in the current affairs. Now based on this, please solve the MCQ here. Consider the following statements regarding sovereign gold bonds. These are tradable in the secondary market. Yes, these are tradable in the secondary market. These have a maturity period of 8 years. Yes, these have a maturity period of 8 years. The bonds carry an interest rate or a coupon rate. I've said government generally provides a coupon rate of 2.5%. Yes, all the three statements are true. Right option for the question will be option C. Now, before I go on to the third article, listen to me carefully. Before I move on to the third article, I just want to clarify. Some of you will be thinking, sir, you have covered very less articles today. That is for a simple reason. I'm repeating this week, or especially in this particular time period, which I'm covering in this video. There has been an event of budget. I've covered it separately. Finance Commission report, separate video of mine is there on the same YouTube channel. There was a discussion of economic survey, a short video I've done on economic survey. There was also a discussion about India, UK or India European Union trade deal. Finalization of that particular trade deal. I've made a separate video on that as well. So 4 major events, important. But since I've already done those separately, I did not want to repeat the same thing. That's the reason I've not covered them in this video. Let me go forward. World Bank and let's say its policy or its initiative to promote employment in India. Very recently, the World Bank and Government of India have signed a framework. The name of the framework, please memorize this: Country Partnership Framework. Country Partnership Framework. And this is not the first time that this kind of a framework has been signed by both of them. In fact, back in the year financial year 18, a similar framework was implemented. That was supposed to be implemented from financial year 18 to financial year 22. And the objective was annually around $6 to $7 billion, $6 to $7 billion per year will be spent by the World Bank in order to promote employment in India. In order to promote employment in India. In fact, this has been implemented, and this initiative, in fact, was extended till the end of December 2025. Till the end of December 2025. Now, after December 2025, the framework ended. There is a new agreement that has been signed between both of these parties. Now, the framework, that is country partnership framework, will be implemented for the next 5 years. It will be implemented for the next 5 years. And the World Bank says, under the new framework, they have earmarked, they would be spending around $8 to $10 billion, around $8 to $10 billion per annum. For what purposes? For generating employment, for creating employment opportunities in India. So, what kind of employment? There are certain industries, there are certain parts of the economy where employment potential is very high, where you can generate huge numbers of jobs. So, the focus will be on those particular areas through multiple schemes. For example, there are schemes of Government of India to provide skilling, to provide internship, etc. So government would be using the funds from the World Bank, implementing the schemes which will help in generating jobs in the Indian market. Important article, please make a note of this particular point. Next, and the final article for today's discussion, Unified Market Regulator. Unified Market Regulator. Right? What is this Unified Market Regulator? In the maritime sector, there have been multiple instances which have raised a cause of concern because we do not have efficient regulation. We have multiple, let's say frameworks. We have, regulator which does not have overall control over the maritime sector. So what Government of India has now announced is the authority, DGMA, Directorate General of Maritime Administration. I'll repeat it again. The Directorate General of Maritime Administration, which has been proposed by the Government of India under the Merchant Shipping Act. This particular authority will essentially be a maritime regulator. That is, in essence, whatever is required in terms of regulating the maritime sector in India, whatever functions are required to be functioned or to be performed, all these particular functions would be performed in terms of oversight over shipbuilding, repair of the ships, coastal shipping, inland waterways, port operations, etc. All these regulations will be overseen by the Directorate General of Maritime Administration. Right? So this initially was proposed, the authority was initially proposed under Merchant Shipping Act of 2025. So these are certain factual data points associated with the new maritime regulator that has been proposed by the government, which will become operational by March 2026. So these are certain important articles, concepts, as well as the questions I wanted to discuss with you people in today's session. If you're yet to watch the video on economic survey that I've taken on platform, please do watch that, and do not forget to join the second class on Saturday at 4 p.m. If you're yet to watch the video on the Finance Commission, please do watch it. Questions will be asked in the prelims examination on that, as well as the budget discussion. If you have liked the session, do not forget to hit the like button. If you are yet to join our YouTube channel, kindly do it right now. And before I wind up the session, do not worry about the PPT as well as the points that you need to remember from the discussion that I've done. After the session is over, there will be a link provided in the description part of the video, using which you can download both PPT as well as the notes. That's it from my side in today's session. See you next time again with another episode of Economy This Week. Till then, take care.